Hello YouTube, it's another cold day. If it's 34 degrees, I'm lying. I don't think it's even that warm. Nasty. And it's cloudy. And it sprinkled last night. And today is, I think, Monday the 16th. We're going to restore this. It has been beat up. I use this mostly a real small metal tin project. I did some big tin coffee can, or like big vegetable cans, and I fold the edge over and I use this to seam it. Some of you long-time subscribers might have seen me use this. It is pretty bad shape. The head's always coming loose. It does have a wedge in it. See how they got that? I'm going to make a wood wedge. And we're going to use epoxy and hope it never comes out again. My battery symbol is flashing low. So we are going to stop talking and get to work. We'll show you some little clips, like what the head looks like, and then we're going to do this on the belt sander. A lot of this sanding. And, well, a lot of this too. We're going to change the grit. And we don't know what we're going to do with this edge, and we're going to rechange it. I do like it like that, so I doubt we're going to change it. We're just going to clean it up. So stay tuned. Okay, real quick, we did this on the belt sander, and this scraping is done with a single edge razor blade. We got this in the vise just right. We took a chisel and there's just enough mushroom on this wedge. We took a sharp chisel on it and hit it. We had it clamped real tight in the vise like this kind of thing. Real solid, and gave it a good whop, and we got that wedge to come out. So, there we go. Belt sander. And we'll finish this. There's going to be a few marks. And then we'll scrape all the finish off. This will probably be oiled. I cannot tell you what the wood is right now. We'll wait and we'll try to decide here when we get done. Back to work. Okay, we've got to show that. This is just the scrubby wood. It will remove some metal. You see how nasty and wavy that is? Because this was just ground with whatever. I could have done it years ago to shape it. See that? How nasty that is? This will remove that much metal. This probably isn't as hard as what you think a hammerhead is. That's just belt sander, trying to polish it. This will probably get gun blowing. We don't want it shiny. Of course, that'll be dremeled. Now, there is people saying put the beggar hole to the top, so you put the wedge, it widens out and it can't come off, but I'm not going to try that. This will be epoxied on with a little wood wedge. It's not a heavy use hammer, it's just that little wedge never did the job. See how that's shaped? See, it's a little bit more that way, but I like it because I can flatten out tin with that. And then I got this end. Like for pounding my little rivet or something, trying to peen something over flat. Okay, back to work. Enough showing this. You'll see it all when we're done. Things like this, be careful. Don't take the barrel shape out of it when you're doing this stuff. Okay, back to work. Okay, this side is a bigger hole. We decided to put it on the top because it went too far down in this, because we're just almost past that shoulder. See now? How it gets bigger there. That way when we put the wedge in, it will swell up and can't pull through. I don't know if I can get this off on camera. Let me pause and take this off and I'll show you how I made the slot bigger. Okay, see how it's bigger at the top? That's what a wedge shape is. I never really make a straight slot. I want it wider at the top, and I'll make a wedge to fit that, and I'll make sure that it is even with the top before it bottoms out in the bottom of the hole. So it will be shorter than the slot is. That's just how I do it. Plus it's going to be epoxy. It's not going to come off. We will do our bluing after we get this glued on there. We'll just use a small model car brush to do the bluing. Put tape on the wood. There you go. That was done with a pocket knife and a little back saw that I have. Whatever it takes. Now we're off to find something to make a wedge out of. Nice piece of wood. Something hard like walnut or something. Well, stay tuned. Okay, we got a piece of walnut. We're probably going to start with the thickest piece and whittle down to what we want. A nice cured, straight grain piece of firewood. There was only a few pieces in that last load of wood I got, because it was kind of elm and a mixture of everything. Yeah, there we go. Nice hunk of wood. That's how you do it. Had to split it off the piece of firewood and split it with my hatchet when it was this thin. That's pretty thin to hit with a hatchet. I was careful though. Stay tuned. Wood wedge coming up. Okay, I hope the air raid siren, our noon whistle blows at lunchtime, is done. I heated this up my turbo lighter. It's just a small one, but it is a turbo flame on the metal, and watch it suck down in there. It made it runnier. Now this kind of leans forward. If you looked at the handle, it looks like the head leans forward. Well, this handle does have a curve to it. And I'd rather have the head lean forward when you come down. You know what I mean? That would be straight. So my handle's kind of up a little bit. That's just how I want this little hammer. Okay, we'll let this cure. Then we'll grind and sand that off to show what it looks like. We put a lot down in the gap of that. Before we put the handle on, we filled the crack, the saw cut, with a lot of epoxy. It was above the level here before I heated it, so it dripped down in there. Enough of that. I thought I'd show these points of interest on this build. Okay, let's get this in frame. This took a little bit of doing. I had to sand a couple spots because it wouldn't take, the bluing wouldn't stick to it, so it's contaminated. Could have been a little bit of epoxy left or something. Just a couple little spots here and there, but that's 2 coats. It is nice and black, and it's oiled, and we oiled the handle. I believe this to be hickory. See how those little dots, like the end of the veins of the wood, and then the grain? So I believe it's hickory. It looks like all the other hickory maul handles I've had and stuff. But there you go. We can get that in here where the wedge is. It does have quite a bit of epoxy around the wood, but I'm glad I decided to do that. I put the big side up here so when the wedge wouldn't flare it out, so if it tries, it's going to be trying to tighten itself if it pulls off. It's not going to hit anything real hard. It's just for tin work. And I made it that way for whatever reason I was doing. I said I did those tin cans where I fold the edge in and then went on block wood and hammered it, fold over and hammered it. And then, like sometimes on tin, you want to say it's folded over this way, you want to hit and kind of push it, kind of with the rounded edge, and then when you want to flatten it, you go in there and super flatten it. I had the video on it. If anybody really wanted to see me working those tin cans, just mention it. I'll try to find it in my videos. It's not always easy. There you go. A nice little brass thing. You'd almost think there was something was in there. Can you see down in there? It almost looks like part of a Phillips bit or something. See that? It makes you wonder if there was something in here once. I wasn't going to mess with it. I just wire brushed with a brass brush. Like I said, it kind of leans, the head kind of leans back this way, which is good because when you come down, your handle's kind of up a little bit. Because there is a bow to the handle. There is a little bit of a bow sitting on my grid lines. Okay, we talked about this enough. These videos are getting too long, these simple little redos here. But thanks for watching, and I hope you stayed here this long and enjoyed this project.